Yeah, we find her, that beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say go so, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty who's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time with things to go off an eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, what beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa. Claus, I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher. I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'm a go-getter. Since I'm a go-getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world. Anything for my beautiful girl. Psych. Ooh,
It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling night, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige? Welcome back. How una day? How's everyone doing? Welcome back. Should coming in, do me a favor, hit that like button. Okay, let's hit that like button. Let's get the like button. By the time we're done with the show yesterday, we had only 32. We need to do a little bit better on the like buttons. Hit that like button. Let everyone know as they are coming in. If you see the numbers increasing, YouTube, just tell them like, hey, hit that like button. Let's get the word going. How's everyone doing? Today is what, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday, right? We're here. We're back here. We have a very important topic to talk about. We're going to talk about Prince Harry. We're going to talk about CRAZECLOWN. I have some interesting twist to bringing this together as some form of lesson, but I'm going to share that with you. And shout out to everyone that's here right now. I appreciate you. D-Love, good to see you. Ashia, no, thank you so much. She said hit the like button. D'Souza, I see you, and I saw you yesterday also in another chat where you guys were cooking it with that Destiny versus 3 other people debate. I don't know if I'll get back to those topics, but I don't know. I'm having fun talking about some real stuff, not some lame stuff, But I still enjoy listening behind the scenes. But I saw you, yes, over there at, what's her name? Robbie's platform. Shout out to Robbie. Shout out to you, D'Souza. I see Darrell is here. I also saw Darrell was over there too, but I think that was like 2 days ago. Good to see you. I think Michael P. I'm not sure which. Okay, this is Michael P. I know Michael P. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. And I see Gorex. Good to see you, Gorex. Welcome. And I have Fumi is here. Good to see you, Fumi. How are you? Yes. Destiny versus Angry Man plus 2. But man, don't get me started with that conversation, man. We have a lot of work to do, black man. We have a lot of work to do. Let's just say that, okay? But yes, we're back here today. We're going to talk about relationships as usual. We'll talk about quite a few things here. Just in case you're brand new, make sure you hit the subscribe button over here. We'll talk about relationships. We'll talk about power. Something that black men need to really need to start to pay attention to, okay? There's no power in running our mouth. It's very little power, Short lifespan, You might run your mouth, you might get a little bit ahead, but you're gonna get shut down. It's only a matter of time, okay? Because you don't know how to move. You don't understand power, okay? It's only a matter of time, okay? But anyway, we'll talk about power. Number 3, we'll talk about seduction, attraction. We'll talk about emotional intelligence. We'll talk about patience. We'll talk about love. For a long time, when people say love is not enough, I would be like, what do you mean? I'll be like, no, love is enough. But these days I'm like, what do you mean? But because when I say what do you mean, that's me exercising patience. that maybe they just don't have the same meaning of love that I have, right? Maybe they're talking about the affection, the feelings, right? But anyway, love is still very, very important. And then before we talk about marriage, if you don't understand all those 7 things, you'll fail at marriage anyway. So those are the things we come here to talk about. If you're not part of the WhatsApp group yet, go and join. Go over to lolaanola.com/WhatsApp. That's the link over there. If that link doesn't work, you can also send a WhatsApp text message to this phone number right here. Okay. And don't forget, you see those books? Those are the 4 books that I've written. One of them written with the help of my wife. Okay. So you can download all of them for free. All for free. You can download them for free at loveandprestige.com. Okay. And also, if you're looking for personal coaching through me and my wife, you can also book from that same. You just have to go through that rabbit hole, and you will have access to everything. Over here, we try not to generalize, but because of the nature is a public platform, we have to generalize. And there's only, if you're in a crisis, that can only go so far in terms of help. Okay. You might take something I said, take it on face value, turn it to a religion, apply it to your relationship, and it will backfire. It might not work for you because when it comes to application, is different from persons to persons. Okay. There are principles, but you also have to think about how you apply it to yourself. It's different from people to people. So, yes. So, D'Souza says Eric and Sway. That's their name? I guess, yeah. I remember Sway. I don't know about the other guy. I think the other guy has another name, some lame name, something that has to do with masculinity or patriarchy, something like that. But anyway, yeah, those kind of names are lame, literally. Okay. Blessed, I collect yesterday, but I'm back. Hi, Ola. Good to see you, Blessed. I'm glad you're here. Welcome back. But yeah, we have a few things to talk about today. And we want to try to keep to time, okay? I want to try to be keeping to time. So, because I want you to be able to get back to bed on time, get back to your family and friends and stuff like that. All right? So, but yes, we're going to have fun nonetheless. We're going to talk about these topics from a very fun place. We don't want to take ourselves too seriously because we're not capable of being that serious anyway, So we want to make sure that we are learning in a very light way, in a way that sticks, in a way that becomes life for us. Relationship is literally the only thing left as far as why are we here? Why are we here at all, right? I think relationships is like the only thing left. Relationship and maybe legacy, because your relationships and your ability to nurture good relationships, healthy relationships, people having the opportunity to feel good around you is basically all they're going to remember about you. They're not going to remember, the money you give them. If they remember the money, it's because of how it makes them feel. You get the gist, right? So we definitely have to keep talking. We have to keep having that conversation. All right. So like I said, today we're talking about Prince Harry and is it Prince Harry or Harris? Harry? Prince Harry, right? Prince Harry and CRAZECLOWN. Prince Harry is the Duke of something is the son of the king, the present king of England, of the monarchy in England, Great Britain, and CRAZECLOWN is a comedian. Why are they linked together, you ask? Why are they linked? Well, part of the title also is "You Failed as a Mother," a quote from CRAZECLOWN. You failed as a mother. He had some interesting take on in-law relationships. Okay, in-law relationships. We have to talk about that because there's a lot of marriages that end because of unhealthy in-law relationships. Okay, people that get into marriages or into long-term relationships, yes, also that, and they don't have proper skill set. They're not competent to be able to handle in-law relationships. and somehow they think it's different. As a matter of fact, a few days ago, we had that's one of us that came here that said, oh, she saw her mother-in-law in a dream. Things like that, especially in African, Nigerian traditional societies, are destroying families. Okay, if you're not well equipped, you will destroy your family with your own hands. And unfortunately, ignorance is not an excuse for adults, human beings. Okay, you've had more than enough time. If you were 25 before you got married, you've had more than enough time to learn some of those things. But I'm aware of our demographic here. I understand. I see the numbers. I know that some of us have made some mistakes, and we're just trying to make the best out of what's left. Okay, so I think we should do that, because the truth is that your whole life is ahead of you at the end of the day. Okay, so I think we should definitely talk about in-laws, and we should keep talking about it, because and it's like any other relationships. Okay, now you guys can hear me loud and clear, right? I think so, because I didn't check, right? Good morning. No, I think she's talking about good collect. She said it's okay, I've collected too. Me too, I've collected from you guys. Tell her now. Right? Jojo, good to see you, Jojo. Good to see you. And Michael P said it's unbelievable at times to think again that Harry is the son of the king of Britain. It doesn't act like it. Yep. That's what I want to talk about today. Precisely what I want to talk about today. Okay, we have to be guided. We have to be careful. You see, when you get into this whole woke thing, we're all acting woke naturally. Okay, so it's not even something you can use to shame anyone. Okay, if you have access to the internet, there's a good chance that there have been moments that you're acting woke, like you know it all. But that type of attitude falls on his face all the time. We have to be very, very, very careful. When we say we're woke, when we say, oh, I discovered, when we start using big psychological terminologies, you have to be careful. Everything in life is a double-edged sword. They can cut both ways. Everything in life. Okay? So even though you might be right.
Well, you're right.
You can collect, right? You can collect, basically. We have to be very, very careful. And I think that Prince Harry is in that zone. It's a lot of trauma, obviously. I'm not going to minimize. I haven't seen the whole story, but I've seen enough to tell me that this guy, and also as far as Meghan is concerned, I don't know her full story like that, but it sounds, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like I'm picking my words carefully, right? Sounds like they're trauma bonding. And I'm not sure how healthy that is for long term. In the short term, obviously, if you can find people that can relate with you, that can finish your sentences, people that seem to have had the same experience, people that can relate with you. She had her own experience with the way she was dragged in British media, right? We have to be careful. We have to be careful so we don't end up in McDonald's.
You will end up in McDonald's.
All right. So So I want to be careful, but I promise you, the lessons we're gonna pull out of this is gonna make sense, especially in collaboration with Craze Clown. So let me pull up the statement from Craze Clown, because I think it will make sense why how they're relevant. How these two completely different parallel worlds came together. I think it will make sense to you in a second. All right, so we have all right, let me share my screen with you. Hit that like button, I beg. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Share screen. All right, good. We have Craze Clown. Craze Clown is right here. That's him right there. Okay. He said you failed as a mother. If what? Did anybody see this? Shout out to Instablog Niger. Did anybody see this before now? Anybody see this message out there? He said you failed as a mother. Let's put some context to it, right? All right. So here you go. As a mother, if your son prioritizes you over his wife, then you failed as a mother. He posted this 2 days ago. What do you guys think about this statement? What do you all think about this? I want to get some opinions first before I have my, what do you think about this statement? Because it's a tweet, As a mother, if your son prioritize you over his wife, right? Then you failed as a mother. What do you think about it? Let me see if there's some replies to it, because I think it'll be interesting to see what people are saying about it too, especially the Nigerian community. They probably have like weird twisted opinions around it. Let me find him. Craze Clown. What do you think about it? That's not a trick question. I honestly want to see what you think about that statement. If you think like, what is he smoking? How do you feel about it? Right? Okay, I found it actually. I found the actual tweet. What do you all think about it? Let me see. Jojo says people should be careful who you marry. When you are angry with your family, it is prudent for your partner to calm you down, but not to go at war with your family. Yeah. Can't argue with that. That's on point. Bumi, hey, good to see you, Bumi. How are you? She said, I don't completely agree. Tell me, what part of it don't you agree with? Give us some nuance, right? Jojo says he is right. D'Souza says, I agree 60%. Where's the rest of the 40%? Can you elaborate? Can you add some context to that? I kind of like, I'm with you there, D'Souza. I'm with you as well, Bumi. But I want to know what's your own 40%. Where is it, right? What happened to it? We need to know. Because that could be a blind spot for somebody. Hit that like button, I beg. Hit that like button. Let me make sure I keep this up. Hit that like button. Thank you. Michael P says that means you raised a mommy's boy and he too didn't shake you off at some point as a son. Yes, it's a mommy's boy issue. Yep, 100%. And it's going to happen to the best of us. If you have good relationship with your mother, everything in life is a double-edged sword. It can cut both ways. You have to be guided. While that's a beautiful thing, you have to be very, very careful. I have a very, very beautiful relationship with my mother. I'm a first too. As a matter of fact, they call her Yaola everywhere in the world. So, you know how that goes. The identity is like John at the hips, right? I'm going to see if I can bring my mother here sometimes too. I'm not sure if they're ready for that, but I definitely need to bring my father. Toby and Tribe, good to see you. She says, I guess they are just following the Bible. Man must leave to cleave and all that. Yes, 100%. I agree. I couldn't agree more on that. All right. Don't agree. My son's nuclear family should come first. I just want to be integrated. Okay. So it sounds like you are agreeing with him. That's what it sounds like. Because remember what he said is this. This is what he said. Did I get the full tweet? Yeah, that's the tweet right there. As a mother, if your son prioritizes you over his wife, then you failed as a mother. So it sounds like you're agreeing with him, D-Love. I'm not sure. You can elaborate if you will, please. The wife should be priority over moms. Yes. I agree 100%. Okay. Betty.
Oh, you're right.
I agree. But now we're looking at Prince Harry, right? Almost seems like that's what he's trying to do, right? Is he overdoing it, or is it different? Is it different because we're talking about a monarchy right now, right? That's what I'm trying to get at here. Like, I agree 100% with it, right? The wife should be priority over moms. But there's something here that just doesn't sit right, and I'm trying to figure it out. I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to figure out how to word it, because I actually agree with the statement, you know? Jojo says, once you're married, your first priority is your wife. Your mother is not to be your priority. Okay, same thing, right? We're all agreeing here, right? Wives come and go. D'Souza says, your mom is always there for you. D'Souza.
Oh, you're right.
Betty, but. Yeah, do wives come and go? Right? By the time she's gone, that's an ex-wife, not a wife. Let me start doing semantics with you right now, right? By the time she's gone, right? By the time she's gone, that's an ex-wife. That's no longer a wife. So let me just stop the cap. Let me stop
the cap.
We're talking about relationships. We're talking about the ability to be able to read emotions, process emotions, manage emotions in real time. So if in real time this person is your wife, that's what we're talking about. Not anticipating that she might be gone someday. Because I don't think anybody is married to a person that they're anticipating that she'll be gone one day. At least we can all agree that that's not a healthy situation, right? So that statement on the surface is so correct, D'Souza, but damn. What if you convert it to an attitude, a mindset? Is this helpful? Is this a helpful thing to have as a mindset? If you were married to a man who feels like wives come and go, do you think that can produce good fruit? You know what we fear the most, we will attract. For someone to use, for a man in particular, to use that statement, wives come and go, there is fear in that. You feel me? There's fear somewhere there, right? There's fear there, you know, and you attract what you fear the most. This type of fear, because I can hear somebody saying, but all our fear is also a good motivator. That's not what I'm talking about. I beg. Let's stay in context, right? Right? That's not what I'm talking about. You know, some of us, all right. So wives come and go sounds like fear. There's nobody that's presently married in a happily married, happy marriage. There's nobody that's happily married that will use such statement. Now, if they are happily married and they're using such statement, it's going to show up in the way they behave to their wife, the way they react to crisis. When they see crisis, what do you think their mind will go to first? After all, wives come and go, right? Right? And yeah, I don't know. If you're a husband and you're thinking these thoughts, and this becomes a mindset for you, an attitude for you, you're going to end up in McDonald's.
You will end up in McDonald's.
Yeah, you go collect. Yeah, I don't know. That took me off my base a little bit, D'Souza. I have to tell you. D-Love says yes, she agrees with him. Okay, good. The only thing I don't want to be tossed to the side, but I would hope I did a good enough job that my son put his family first. Right. So I just said something very important you should pay attention to. There's some statements that is absolutely correct when you say it. You know, I'm trying to think of one right now. Right? Like it's correct. You know, like men built the world. Like men built the world. Yes, we built this whole thing and you're enjoying it, right? But when you turn it to mindset, right? When you turn it to an attitude about how you think of your marriage, your relationship, it can backfire. Yeah, it can backfire. The only thing I don't, okay, we already did that. A man will leave his parents and cleave to his wife. That's what the scripture said, right? Regardless of the situation that arises after should the marriage fail. The mother comes second like everyone else. Cecilia, good to see you. That's on point. That's on point. That's still on point. We're still talking here, right? Toby and Tribe says, reading Prince Harry's book. Currently on page 208. Of how many pages? Like 600, 700? People say blood is thicker than water. What do you mean by blood is the question, right? People literally think they're talking about blood when obviously we're not talking about real blood, right? Right? I would like to know the source of that adage. You know, I believe it's true to many extent. I think it can backfire. I think it's a double-edged sword like everything else, right? There's a lot of people that say blood is thicker than water, and they literally will put not even their mother, they'll put their siblings above their spouse. You will end up in McDonald's.
You will end up in McDonald's.
I think we might have to change you go collect to end up in McDonald's. Right? You know? Then you will go to Daddy Fritz and start crying wolf that you got kicked out into the streets. Whereas the way you move is that blood is thicker than water. And you're not wrong. You're still right. But you're now in McDonald's. Jesus.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. We got to be careful. We got to be careful. Anyway, let's keep going. Those who say, no, let me finish this. Did I finish this? The children your wife gives you, are they not blood also? That's another way to think about it, right? You and your wife are one in matrimony. I would hope that's how you think of it, because I don't know what you're doing there if you don't think of it that way. Like, what's the point? Like, you have the freedom. You have agency of your own life. Why would you stay in a situation in a marriage, understanding that the marriage institution literally means you and your wife becomes one, right? Anyway, those who say they don't like that to be done to them once the table turns. Yes. This is why they're double-edged sword. When you end up on the receiving end of some of our talking points, yeah. Still take care of your mom, but don't neglect your wife's opinions, I guess. Yeah. Even take care of your mom. The way some people interpret that, it means F my wife's opinion for them. So it depends on who is analyzing that statement, right? I guess, in other words, put your wife first and mom second. It's a tricky question, Sha. Yes, this is a age-old argument. Who should sit in the back seats? What if you pull up and your wife is sitting in the front seat? Who should be sitting in the back seat and who should sit in the front seat? Well, that would depend on your culture, because when you both people will say you to hell with it, right? Tell Uncle, I should go in the back. But to us, the way we are raised, Africans, there's some nuances there, right? It becomes a little tricky, right? But when I ask men this, I said, gentlemen, you are a general. Some of the toughest decisions you're going to have to make are going to be about this kind of stuff. And at that point, you will be called to duty. What duty? Prioritizing stuff. What is the priority? What would be the priority when you're thinking what should be the priority? Are you thinking short term, mid term, and long term? Short term meaning now. Like, what makes me feel good right now? What makes you feel good is the belief system you were raised with. Like, but that's effing family. That's my mom. Why you talk to my mom like that? If you were raised with such belief system, that will be your natural knee-jerk reaction, right? But when you think mid-term is like, okay, anything from late nights today when you need some, to the next 2-3 weeks, right? When you need to knock some off, right? Then when you think that through, you're like, let me think this a little bit. When you think long term, as in like this behavior keeps showing up, you don't know how to prioritize when difficult decisions are to be made as a man. You will end up in McDonald's.
You will end up in McDonald's.
Let's see. Let's keep going here. DME Sharon, good to see you. DME, she says, no. So you married to a wife, and will you be planning to lose her? That was my point of contention. Like, if you lost her, that's an ex-wife at that point. We're talking about wives, right? So the way you treat your wife in that moment when she's a wife will determine if you will end up having to marry your mother. No disrespect, but I'm sure that's not what any man wants. They don't want to end up having to marry their mother. That's not what they want. They want the queen mother to remain the queen mother, and they want the queen to have their own position, right? D'Souza say, if my husband doesn't take care of his mom, I'm going to feel a type of way. We're getting somewhere. Wait. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Now, this is the point where Prince Harry needs to come forward into the stage, right? Prince Harry needs to come forward, right? At what point? Because remember, everything literally in life is a double-edged sword. That behavior that everybody praises you about, that say, you're good, you're this, you're that. When you enter a relationship with another human being, that behavior will be questioned, will be tested. It might actually backfire. If everybody say you're a quiet one, you're the quiet one, we might be struggling with getting you to speak your mind, right? If everybody say you're too loud, we might be struggling to get you to calm down and learn how to listen actively to your partner. Everything in life is a double-edged sword. That's a good point, right? That's a good point, right? At what point will a wife, a typical woman, start to feel some type of way if you lost your whole identity in the name of happy wife, happy life? I know some people hate that. I hate when people bring that up too. I think it's a hyperbole at best. There's no need to overreact to it, right? But at what point do you overdo, right? Right? At what point, right? Because it's true, gentlemen. I mean, they tell you. I'm telling you, right? As ideologies are they're just dangerous. Ideologies in general, anything you can turn, any form of sentence that you can turn to a religion, and you just zone in on it, and you don't think nuances is black and white for you. Shout out to Austin Holloman. You don't care because it's all black and white. You will end up in McDonald's.
You will end up in McDonald's.
I feel like I'm using this a lot. Let's move it up. Oh wow. Let's see. That's a good point. Because the truth is that how we treat his mother may reflect in how he's gonna treat you. How she treats her mother may show up later. Maybe not now. Remember, I talked about short term, mid term, long term. May show up later on how they treat you. You might end up on the receiving end of this behavior. Now, let's back up a little bit. Remember, if we have to prioritize now, if somebody had a came into your head and you have to decide right now, your nuclear family comes first. You're a general. Okay? That means somebody's life is involved and you have to make a decision right now. Your nuclear family, the actual blood, the one that came from your nuts, comes first. Okay? If you have to. And, Queen Mother is Queen Mother. She might be upset right now, but remember she's Queen Mother, she will understand. She will. Typically, she will understand. Like if you just get over your own feelings, in the next few hours, she will get it. Because she's been around. You might not even get it. And she will completely get it. Right? But in the long run, in the grand scheme of things, if you're doing this, if you turn this thing to a religion and you're going as far as, let's cut off your whole family, that's your identity. A woman eventually will have a hard time respecting you. She will have a hard time respecting you. You're here not by mistake. You didn't fall out of the skies. Whatever makes up your identity is your experiences, right? The family you grew up in, the culture you grew up in, all of those things make up who you are today, right? In the short term, you might be caught up in your emotions. You might feel like you should just cut people up and stuff like that. And let me be fair, there are some times that it's probably just too toxic for your mental health. And that's what you need to do. Maybe short term, maybe at least short term, right? Maybe your siblings are toxic like that. Maybe they're always arguing with each other. They fight with each other. They go 3, 4, 5 months not talking to each other because they're toxic like that. And you kind of feel like you need a break. Well, it's called a break for a reason. But what I'm saying is that if I was to advise a young lady or young man to hook up with a potential life partner, it's a red flag if they don't have relationship with their source. It's a thick red flag, like it's really, really bad. It's a bad. I say it's a bad. It's a very bad idea to get with somebody that don't have relationship with their, There's exception to every rule, of course. Maybe you fell in love and you're like, but I understand. You might understand right now, but you don't understand what you're understanding. You don't understand what you're understanding. You don't know what you don't know. Somebody show up and they said, oh yeah, I love you. I'm in love with you. I just want to marry you. I'm about to, let me see your ring size. And you're like, you've never met his mother and she's alive. You've never met his father. None of them. And there's no story. And you've been dating for 6 months, 1 year. He's never said, you know what, I want you to speak to my mom, even if you're in the abroad and mom's is in Nigeria, right? And that one, a juju. I will be guided, at least, okay? I'm not saying it never happens. There's probably some exception out there where people have figured out how to do it and they did it successfully, But, yeah, I would be very, very careful with that, okay? So, of course, that person will find it easy to decide to agree with Craze Clown, right? they'll find it super easy to agree with him, right? As a mother, if your son prioritizes you over his wife, then you failed as a mother. If that guy has never had a good relationship with his mother, it will make sense to him. Like, he's just like, oh, of course, duh, right? But I want you to be careful. There's always more to the story than talking points, than generalized statements. There's always more to it. Ask open-ended questions so you can allow them to talk and tell you everything. Closed-ended questions are for lames. Oh, so yes or no? That's lame behavior. Okay? It's lame behavior. When we're talking about certain things, you need to learn how to ask open-ended questions so that they can elaborate. So you can also practice your listening skills. All right? Oh, wow. So, let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, deep. So this is that was a good point you brought up there. Maybe I don't have a marriage mindset. What is a marriage mindset? If you're in conversations about marriage, you do have a marriage mindset. You're probably actively trying to convince yourself you don't. Okay, let's settle this. Whoever you are sleeping with every night should be priority, period. Thank you, blessed. Exactly, right? For those in the pack that don't have marriage mindset, right? You don't have marriage mindset, that's a word for you.
I think Rachel's beautiful because she's got good brains. I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun.
Life is all about balance. There's no reason to choose unless there are existing problems. So here's the thing, especially I like to tell men. That's a good point, Toby. I like to tell men, crises are inevitable. When there's crisis, it won't show up as you're trying to pick up mother and who's gonna go in the back seat. It's not gonna be that simple. Okay, it's the same thing, but it'll come in a different form, right? So it's very, very important to understand that your own crisis is inevitable. It might come in a different form, might come with as a battle between your mother and your, but it's essentially ultimately the same issue. Okay. And when that happens, yes, you might be presented with having to make a decision that seems kind of tough. You know what I mean? So those reasons, there could be reasons. They come in the form of crisis where you have to make a decision to choose. But also it's about how you think about it. Like, is it a choosing between your wife and your mother? Or you're just choosing to keep your home together as a man, right? It's just all a mindset, right? I'm my home, I got to keep it together. As a matter of fact, if you're not able to keep your home together, did you know that your mother will not be able to respect you as a man? People have talking points out there. They will say things like, my mother didn't want me to marry her. Bruh, that's cap. Okay, that is
Stop
cap.
the cap.
You just didn't like her enough. Okay, it's your job to sell her to your mother as a man. And if you couldn't because you couldn't find the will. You didn't like her enough. Okay. And it's no wonder why your mom is trying to help you, because she doesn't trust or respect you as a man. You shall do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. If you find your mother is trying to help you find a wife, she doesn't trust you, bro. Oh yes, Queen Mother would like the idea of having a son who is assertive, can make decisions, dependable. Right? Go look at other areas of life. Your mother probably doesn't trust you either. That's the only way she will feel the need to, to nose into it. Like if you were presented with a crisis, like who's going to sit in the back, are you able to say, Mom, and are you able to say that? Is your mom going to respect when you say that? Are you able to put your words in a way that she knows you're not asking for permission? You're saying, Mom, like honor. Mom, you sit in the back. Let the wife sit in the front. Your tone, right? Just how you move as a man. Can she respect you at that level? You're presented with this crisis because all the women in your life will test your masculine frame.
Oh, beauty.
Including your mother, yes. Good evening, Chinye. Welcome. Good to see you. You just ignore wife opinion, oh. You're on your own. Yes. Ignoring wife opinion, I'm not sure. I need some real life examples on that, because we are also in a space where there's a battle going on. I'll be honest with you. There's nothing wrong with obviously taking into consideration your wife's opinion. As a matter of fact, that's a wise thing to do because you have a blind spot as a man, right? There's just some things you can't see, right? Like, babe, what do you think about this? Babe, what do you think about this? If you do that enough times, which you should be doing enough times, this issue will never come up. Like, oh, he never value my opinion. Well, like, how often do you wait? Are you married to a person that you can trust that they might be able to see other angle, right? I mean, you just feel like, oh no, I'm a man. We don't need their opinion. That's one angle to it. The other angle to it is that when a man makes a decision and says, this is the direction we're going, babe, are you able to trust your husband? If you can't trust your husband, you will end up in McDonald's. or you may end up pushing him into McDonald's, pushing him out into McDonald's. Whichever one, everyone collects.
You will end up in McDonald's.
Everyone. So if somebody is actively, I'm not sure that a healthy man, there are men that are not healthy, they don't know how to think. They do exist, but I'm not sure if a healthy husband is actively ignoring his wife's opinion. If you're a woman, you're feeling that way, say that to him and say, you seem to ignore my opinion. Oh well, that means your problems are deeper. If he goes like you don't bring your wala again, that means your problem is bigger than this issue, right? If he goes like, babe, what do you mean? I don't ignore your opinion. I value your opinion. Then maybe you're overreacting. Then maybe you should trust, fine. There's a reason why you're not trusting your husband. Every woman that's in a healthy relationship would like to be in a position where they can trust the husband's decision. All right, there's some exception. If you're the exception, then create your own rules. Hopefully you know what you're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing and you're swimming against the trend, you will drown, oh. You will drown. All right, so it just all depends. We need further examples to be able to dig in deeper through that. So you get the gist. Prince Harry, let me disconnect my whole family. I don't think that's a healthy thing. Long term, we'll be here to see it. Long term, one of the things that a woman can love about a man is the sense of identity. Like, he's a man from this family, is that, like, oh, I know his mother too, I know his brother, my brother-in-law. All those things come together holistically to create healthy relationships in the long run. If all you have is just you as a human being, people that want to elope and just go and get married. Ladies, you want to elope and go and get married, don't be surprised if it doesn't show you that level of respect you're looking for. After all, you're just floating around. Like, who is your source, right? We got to be careful. We have to be careful. Yeah, let's see. Adiyemi says, I don't know how a woman will feel comfortable with that. I missed what you're talking about. Let's see. That sound bite is so funny. Which one? I'll play for you again if you tell me which one. Queen Elizabeth raised him, and he wasn't even on her death bed. He has no loyalty, not even to his brother. So yes, these are the things that I'm paying attention to. It's cute for the woke people to say, yeah, fight for your mental health. Like, are you thinking mental health right now, or you're thinking mental health in the long run? What do you think of a man who disconnects from his whole family? Everything is ever known, right? Whatever reason. He has his reasons. He's fighting his brother. He said his brother is basically like a spare tire for his brother. He said that in his book, something like that. There's a quote out there in his book, right? So, speaking of, right?
Different from blue. Bulaba.
A lot of people are asking questions about this man. Where's his family? Some people are saying he's from Oshobo. They're saying he's not really connected to the big Tinubu family. People are asking. Like, now that's because he's running to be the president of the country, right? But when we're talking about this kind of stuff inside of a romantic relationship, it's like that silent question that you always had. When you, even if you're a woman, you find yourself in a situation where you're being disrespectful to your husband. When you think there's some level of patience that comes with the fact that you know that he has a brother, he has a sister, he has a respectable family that he's very well connected to, right? That even if you want to act out, you will just slow down a little bit, or at least you have somebody you can pick up the phone and say, please help me talk to Bye-bye. I'm trying to. It doesn't value my opinion. I feel like it doesn't value my opinion. But imagine if you are married to a person that you have some issues, right? And you can't even pick up the phone to call a person. I know where you're going. You're not supposed to call anybody about your marital issue. That's not what we're talking about right now. You're right about that, by the way. But I'm saying, it's not like you're going to actually call, but you know that you have people, a leño, right? Just think about that. I think Prince Harry is playing with fire. Personally. Right? I think that CrazeClown has a point. But be careful, be guided, right? Here's what he said. That I just wouldn't say all that, right? Prince Harry is... Yeah. Isn't it already in the McDonald's already? I mean, a person that has people, but they have to live on the outskirts. You have to leave Lenyodi. You have to leave behind the walls of your own city. It's a bad idea. Maybe I can't see that far, but it's just a bad idea altogether.
You will end up in McDonald's.
All right, so let's see here. Let's see some of the comments here. Olugbenga says, if you have a failed or wicked mom, don't compare them to others. Or better still, keep the tweet to yourself and stop embarrassing your family. You see? As sweet as it sounds on the surface for people that are overly woke trying to study this married thing, I know where they're coming from. If you're a man and you have to make a decision in an instant in between your wife and your mother, Queen Mother will be fine. Take care of your wife. Then after you make sure that wife is good, wife is literally you. If you have self-respect, you take care of your wife first. Then you now say, Mom, Emma Binu, Eshamo, Efinyele. Queen Mother will understand. It's literally how you move, and it's about saying less than necessary. If you engage this with too much talk, especially if you be hanging out at the manosphere and you want to put women in their position and all this kind of stuff, you will end up in McDonald's.
You will end up in McDonald's.
Right? You will end up in McDonald's. So that's what Olugbenga said. Olugbenga said, if you have a failed or wicked mom, as a man, you have a failed. So even though what he said at the end of the day, last, is just cute. It's cute to say a bunch of women will agree with you, but be guided. Remember that there's a bunch of young men, lame men, that just take talking point and turn them to religion. I mean, last they will all collect, but sometimes when they collect, children collect, and that's not we don't want that. Right? So Benga said a good point, right? Stop embarrassing your family. Well, he's just saying in general, right? I think women should be mature and not putting the men in their lives in positions where they have to make tough choices. That's unrealistic expectations. All the women in your life, including your mother, will put you in a position that tests your masculine frame.
Oh, beauty.
That's where your growth is. How else are you going to grow if you're not if you don't go through crisis? Right? You're just going to fall out of the skies or listen to Anton Daniels and become masculine frame. Nah, bro. Will it work? It can't work. The way you're going to build strength as a man is to be put in these tough choices. She's not sitting down there saying, I'm going to put you through this. No, it's just life. Life is happening. And then sometimes you have to make tough decisions. A man being what he is owes protection and loyalty. Yeah, we could tell. This one is a student of Kevin Samuels, whatever. I'll be Andrew Tate, right? Being what he holds protection and loyalty to all the women in his life, including blood relatives, mothers, contractual relatives. If you think of your wife as contractual relative,
you will end up in McDonald's.
You will end up in McDonald's, precisely. See, I could tell. I know when they start talking, all they have to say is two words, and I know where they're coming from. Holds protection, loyalty. Oh, and by the way, he's not wrong. Because somebody's about to ask me in the comment right now and say,
well, you're right.
He's not wrong, but he's still lame. Okay. Omo, I don't believe I can hate you this much. I have cherished you all my life. I understand that you lack motherly love, but that doesn't mean you should come here and say this rubbish. He wasn't saying rubbish. He has a good point. All I'm saying is be guided, because some people take everything to the extreme, right? I wouldn't say all that like you failed as a mother. No, I would say such mother lack wisdom. But again, not really. Because why is this your mother's fault? Your mother is a woman. Why is this her fault? If your son prioritizes over his wife, your son is a grown man, an adult. He decides to prioritize his wife. What does that have to do with Queen Mother? Is this lack of accountability or what? See, Dr. Grace, don't they collect now? I'm telling you, it gets real. It gets real, right? So she's failed as a mother. How did you like Kilagbe? Kilaju failed as a whole mother? No. It's not that deep. I get where he's trying to get at. Motivational speaker in the poto now. Right? It gets real. Let's see. Until later, when your wife say the kids are not yours, you go understand. Yeah, that's the other extreme of it, of course. Now they want to bring a paternity forward. No, it's not that deep. None of it is that deep. The wisdom there is that in the short term, your nuclear family comes first. Particularly because wise mothers they might not understand the moment because there's a crisis going on, but it's your responsibility to hold your frame and tell mommy, hey, okay, Mabino, I will talk to you in a second. But what do a lot of men nowadays do? They take this kilo shele go and they start to get into the mansplaining, the shalaye of details. You shouldn't have done that. Like, you're overworking yourself. It's not that deep. Crisis will happen. It's you that is being tested. The question is that will you pass that test as a man? So is the woman getting any wisdom in this? I mean, I guess they're getting wisdom because it's true. If you find yourself actively, it's just you all the time. Every time, it's just you and your mother-in-law all the time. You might want to pay attention to something though. Don't come here and say, Ola said no. Ola said no, we never do anything wrong. I have never said that in my life. But I think that the society is a function of the status of the man. And men hold themselves accountable and responsible first. And if you have to call it blame, fault, yes, you take it first. That's part of your responsibility as a leader. That sound too much? But we have options these days. Medical science is a fantastic science. A fantastic technology. We have options. Okay. Oh, this person says, as a man, you should know how to balance both sides. Yes. Bro, you shouldn't come on here addressing mothers like this. What do you hope to achieve with such statement? This is the point where they say it's pandering. Yeah, it's extreme. It's extreme. It's a bit extreme to say the mother has failed based on your responsibility as a man. Right? And it's not about going to and say, hey, mother, my wife comes for you. If you say stupid stuff like that, you're just even dumber than I thought. By the way, you will end up embarrassing your wife. That's not what she's asking you to do. She's not asking you to get on her side and be stupid. Remember, she just has to feel not safe and insecure, and you will end up in McDonald's even when you're right.
You will end up in McDonald's.
Contractual relative. Gentlemen, don't say stuff like this. You sound stupid. If you do, you come up with technical, scientific terms to describe the wife you married. I don't know what you're trying to do. You're on the other extreme of crazy clown. Crazy clown. Dr. Craze. You go collect. Extremes. People on the extreme collect 100% of the time. Undefeated. Go and ask Andrew Tate. Go and ask Kanye West. Go and ask, what's the name of this new one that just collected from Brazil? Austin Oleman. You want to talk from the extreme side of your mouth? The world will prove it to you over and over again that you're lame. There's no better way to say that you feel like you don't have power. You just have to abuse everyone. You go collect. You will end up in McDonald's. All right. Yeah. Saying wives come and go is a defeatist way of talking. Yes, Michael. It's like, why? Why would you engage the institution of marriage with that mindset? On the surface, it's like, oh, it's true. You're right. After all, 50% is divorce. But no, let's take it a little deeper. What are you trying to tell us? You don't feel safe. You're operating from a place of fear. It's probably a bad idea to engage the institution of marriage altogether, at least for now. Okay? All right. At least for now. Uh Shay the one I think I think it's Lassisi. Yeah, that's Lassisi. Yes, that's Lassisi. Did I play that earlier? I did, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Where is Ola getting those sounds from? I told you, we're just getting started. We're just getting started. Okay? We're just getting started. I will read the book if I could trust anything they say. Something about them doesn't smell right. What you can trust about that book is that he's speaking his truth. You can learn a lot of what you shouldn't do in that book. Like he was talking something about, I don't know, there's some unnecessary details in there too. But he's speaking his truth. His truth means how he sees the world. That's why I keep telling people they're right, because I mean that. That's how they see the world. That's why a lot of times I'm just not going to be able to stop a lot of people from self-destructing. Okay? I can't stop I won't be able to stop a lot of people from self-destructing because that's how they see it. It's their truth. And that truth must manifest. They have to hit rock bottom before they can listen to anything else. Okay? My hope is that rock bottom won't buy them. That's my hope. Okay? That's the only thing we can do with that. But you best believe that, of course they will make it entertaining, make it, professional writing book. But in terms of overall speaking, it is what it is. She said, have mercy, please. It's absolutely extreme. Society always likes to blame the woman and not hold a grown man accountable. Yeah, you see how easy it was to now man you be on that statement, right? But then you look at it like, wait, why are you blaming your mother? Why did mother fail? Because you're a grown man, you don't know how to set priorities? Yeah. A woman is a woman. I keep telling everybody that because a typical woman is a typical woman. It is what it is. They have a completely different experience from us. And if you're going to engage them in a long-term way for a life partner, all that kind of stuff, there are some things you need to learn. One of them being this idea, you have to be extra sensitive to anything that blames women. Yes, you should be extra sensitive to that. No, a bunch of lames are going to call you're pandering, blah, 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 whatever. That's fine. Because them too, they go collect. From who? Oh, beauty. Exactly the statement that she failed as a mother doesn't sit right with me. Once an individual becomes an adult, whoever their decision becomes is solely their responsibility. Yes, even if you're a woman, how much more a man, right? I get what you mean. The media has filled the air with hate. I'm sure Harry and Meghan are not perfect people, but the British media and royal family also have a lot to answer for. Yeah, that whole monarchy thing is another form of an ocean. If you're going to swim against them, you better know what you're doing. It's, I know he might think he has some new standards, they need to change and stuff like that. I'm sure that's true to a lot of extent. I'm sure that's very, very true. Well, but life is short. How many oceans do you want to start swimming against? Right? Every one of us, we have something that we can improve, that we would like to be improved, that is not the way we like it. But what do? We make the most out of it, we make the best out of it, right? And we nurture our relationships in the middle of all of that. If what you're going to do is burn bridges and destroy the whole family, I don't know how toxic, how bad it is in there, but I don't know. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. you know. So asking the British monarchy to start answering to stuff, I don't know. Answer to what? They've been doing that for hundreds of years. How many 100 years? Right? Even if you're like remember his story also, he's always been a rebel, right? He's always been a rebel. You throw your whole family under the bus. I don't know. Everyone in that family had to deal with the media. Everyone had to deal with the media. So if everyone had to deal with the media, like literally everyone, even the extendeds, right? Do you really get to complain? Can you really call that oppression? Can Prince Harry actually claim oppression? Somebody just said oppression. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's what you're saying, but can he really claim oppression? I mean, if everyone is dealt the same cards. I don't know. I don't know enough. My wife watches The Crown. I don't know. It consumes my brain too much. I can't sit through and be watching that kind of stuff. I have too much going on. The only show I will watch like that is Power. We're in the 24th century, but they refuse to leave the dark ages. Life is all about evolution. So here's the thing with that. They will end up at McDonald's. Okay.
You will end up in McDonald's.
They will collect too, because it's just not sustainable to stay in the dark. It's light everywhere. That light could be your son, your grandson, right? It's light everywhere. So, it is what it is. I'm just saying, him as an individual, as a man, and all of us, the rest of us here, I think it's a bad idea to completely throw your family under the bus. In the name of you're getting with your wife. I think you got it wrong if you have to do that. There are some things you have to manage. You have to manage crisis. You have to manage conflict, right? You have to manage crisis, conflict, yes. But the idea of completely throwing one side under the bus is a bad idea. It's coming from a weak place. You get what I'm saying? It's coming from a weak place. And weak place is not an indictment. It's not saying, oh, you're wrong. No. It's just saying it's a weak place. And if you're coming from a weak place, that means you're expecting the society to save you. Society don't really care. This is all entertainment for them. That's all it is. Entertainment. So, but there's only so much we know about that situation. I'm just saying, for us, the regular people here, your relationships is all you've got. Money come and go. Your wife falls under relationship. Okay, even if she's gone to ex-wife, you still have relationship, especially if you have children. And if you don't manage that relationship, you will end up in McDonald's still again.
You will end up in McDonald's.
All right, so your relationship is all you've got. Nurture them. Okay, that doesn't mean you stay there and be obsessed. It means learn how to manage them, right? Throwing people under the bus often comes from a place of, I'm giving up, I'm done, I'm just done, right? Like it's over. That's coming from a weak place. Okay, I've had to use the block button a few times, but if you find yourself using block button a lot, look in the mirror. Why are you blocking everybody? Now I'm talking about people in your life, not strangers online. Right? Why do you think you block everybody? Did you? Why? Because they're not perfect? Oh, welcome to the real world. Did you even know that every family has dysfunction in them? Right? Hold on one second. Every family, like, I'm not generalizing, every family has their own dysfunction. So if you throw your own family under the bus, who is going to dash you their own family? I'm asking. The people that will ask you, where's your own family? Because I don't know if you've experienced this as a child, where you went to a friend's house, everybody's happy, and you're like, I love their house over there better. And then one day they ask you, like, go to your house. Go to your house, right? Let's be guided. Nurture your relationships. Embrace them. Sometimes you have to embrace them from afar, but don't throw your family under the bus. Don't burn bridges. Don't be so quick to burn bridges. I granted, sometimes it's just bad. But if you find yourself doing that all the time, they just don't like my mouth, I speak blunt. Nah, bro, you're rude. Yeah, man and woman. I just tend to speak blunt. No, you're rude. You're a rude person. Okay? You're just a rude person. That's all it is. Okay?
She what?
You're a rude person. A person. Right? There's no such thing as I speak blunt. If one person told you that, the second person, by the time it's becoming the fourth person, you're just a rude person. And I won't be surprised if you end up being the one to tell, to hell with your family, you want to elope. This thing just don't show up. So it's little behaviors here and there that we've been doing over time in little ways that, But now it's real life. Wife is involved, the husband is involved, your children is involved. Your 21-year-old child doesn't want to talk to you anymore. Where did he learn that from? Okay, he's an adult, okay? But maybe they learned it from you. Right? A little child, literally a 6-7-year-old say, I hate her. I hate her. I don't know. I don't want to talk to her. Okay. What happened? No, I don't want to talk to her. 7-year-old children don't fall out the skies with that. They learned it somewhere. Okay, I know you want to blame it on the school. There's a good chance they learned it from you, or maybe your husband, or vice versa. Whichever, they learned it from somewhere, and you need to pay more attention. Children learn more from our behaviors than what we say. Did you know that? Okay. What I'm saying is the monarchy is a form of oppression. Oh, yeah, of course. We know that. I mean, the whole world. I mean, the whole existence of mankind. There's nothing new about that. Did you know amongst ourselves too in Africa? Did you know that we oppress each other? Oh deep. Go and watch Anukulakbo. That's the movie I was trying to remember the other day. Go and watch it. All right. It's a human thing. We're getting better, but slowly but surely, the monarchy is no different. Okay. I don't see it personally. I don't see it as any different. People might want to measure magnitude, the Atlantic, the slave trade. I know. I granted, but at the core, the behavior is the behavior. I better pass my neighbor, right? Who goes to Hollywood to find peace and privacy? Prince Harry. Prince Harry, right? Oh Lord. It's questionable, but that's what people that feel wronged, people that don't feel right, they will do everything that's wrong, and they will try to justify it, by the way. Okay, and by the way, they will find more than enough stats, data, right, and facts to justify the bullshit, right? Not everyone can handle media. It will be too invasive for me. You were not born into this. If you were born into it, they usually have resources to help. They have to have professionals managing this stuff, right? That's not to negate what you said, but like the Susan just said. So they moved from the monarchy, they moved to Hollywood. Think about that for a second, right? He's an awo kindawo. Yes, Ola Olatunji. I hope that's not the Ola Olatunji that I know personally. That's true. Awo kindawo. You will end up in McDonald's if you do that. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. There are other ways around it. The issue is people may not be patient enough for that. Sometimes they will call it, they can't handle it, but then they're gonna end up handling something of greater magnitude anyway. It's like, I don't want to negotiate. I was having a conversation with my wife. I don't want to negotiate. You end up in a war. Guess what you have to do to end the war? Negotiations, right? Agidi doesn't pay anybody. Agidi means being stubborn. You have to be guided. If you're a stubborn person, if a few people have told you you're a stubborn person, you will end up in McDonald's.
You will end up in McDonald's.
You know, I agree with you there. Maybe not Hollywood. He should have moved to Tennessee if he wanted privacy. These people don't want privacy. They don't, Why did he wait till now to monetize his family for the sake of his wife, who is manipulative? You can blame the wife for that, gentlemen. It works completely against you when you start to blame women for your issues. 100% of the time, it will work against you. But how do we hold them accountable? What do you mean, Ola? How do we hold them accountable? Right?
Funke!
That's a man trying to hold his woman accountable for the son potentially getting somebody pregnant at 16. How did that work out? It became our sound effects. Right? It doesn't work well. It's a way of disengaging from your power. Okay? It's a way of disengaging from your power. So Allah, are you saying there's no such thing as holding women accountable? No, I didn't say that. But yeah, he can't blame his wife. If we have to use the word blame, he has to blame himself. I don't think he's trying to throw them under the bus. He's just telling his own story. Toby and Drive.
Oh, beauty.
He's telling his own story. Yeah. He's telling his own story. He wants to maintain relationship with them, but not a toxic one. Just saying from all that he said. And you're the one reading the book, so I hear you. I hear you. I doubt it. He's caught up in his emotions, an extended one at that, and I'm sorry. Men don't have that luxury of just running around the internet and telling stories. In the name of telling our stories, throwing our whole family on, throwing your whole identity under the bus. Men don't have that luxury. I don't know if women do, but men don't have that luxury. It's a bad idea. All that money will go, right? He'll be left with himself and all the feelings, that comes with that later on. I don't know. We'll see where it ends. Words and behavior don't align. Often, yeah, they're two different things. That's true. We were sympathetic with them before now, but they have failed the test of time. Yeah, yeah, because people that are stubborn, Yoruba people. Allah to hopefully understand Yoruba with that Yoruba name, right? Hopefully, lẹ́yìn àpọ́nlé àbùkù ló kàn. If people are edifying you, they're edifying, yeah, tell your story, and they keep the same people will shame you. Did you know that? They will shame you, you collect. You know that song, kò sọ́gbọ́n tó lè dá, kò síwá tó lè wù. So when you are telling your story, gentlemen, be guided. When you are running your mouth online because you discover something new. Let's be guided. They are also hypocrites. Why did Meghan not write about her scattered family or Kiriwa escapade scenes on Suits? I don't know much about them. I'm seeing very surface stuff, and it's spelling red flags for me. They never said they wanted privacy. The media twisted that as usual. They just wanted space to breathe. Okay, that's true. I think there's a point there where the palace will not leak information to the press. All right. That's unrealistic expectation considering their status and their personas. Their brand. Yeah. Netflix will finish them and they will still need more money. Yes. Yeah, because we're talking about your emotional, mental stability here. There's not enough money for that in the world. Right? Guess what? Netflix will get another story. They'll move on at some point. To whom much is given, much is expected. I know it feels unfair. Because they are humans like the rest of us. Really? Are you sure? Are they humans like the rest of us? Are you sure? We're talking about the British monarchy now. Are they really human like the rest of us? I believe him when he said he's a spare tire for his brother. I believed him on that. Now it depends on how you interpret that, right? Because after all, what is it? 40-year-old man now? Are you still spare tire? You're 40-year-old man. Was there some ideology written in a book somewhere? Yes, probably, right? These people are vicious, right? But I watched Anikulapo. He collected in a major way. He was a very bad Shide. What is Shide? See him saying he killed 25 Talibans. What? Oh, he said that in the book, right? Please hit that like button. I'm being told that the likes are low. I'm being told the likes are low. Please, I beg. Hit that like button now. Thank you so much. Thank you in advance. Thank you in advance. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. I'm looking at it. Thank you. Thank you. All right, good. Let's get back to it. That was twisted as well. Watch his interview with Stephen Colbert. The British media will twist. Yeah, they will. That's what they're supposed to do. That's precisely what you do. Just like the White House will twist anything. This is what I mean by expectations. You should expect that the bigger an empire gets, the more they will twist things, or at least come off as they are twisting things, because optics is everything. Remember, we also talk about power here, right? It's everything. How you look on the outside. You can't just randomly run around the streets and I must tell my story and forget about optics. No, don't do that. Gentlemen, don't do that, please. Don't play such games. Be careful. Be careful. Because what you say can be used against you in the court of law, but also a public opinion. And it will affect you. It will shake you at your core, including your mental and emotional stability. You're not exonerated simply because you're telling your story. Okay? Even these days, I don't think women can get away with that. If you're a woman of a certain status, it's a bad idea. You saw what happened to, what's her name? Yawo Alex. Fancy. You got it. Tell your story. Let me tell my story. Be careful. LD says, hey, LD, good to see you. Adam blamed Eve, and look what happened to him. It doesn't end well, gentlemen. Black men, you want to keep staying at the bottom? Just blame your women. That's all you have to do. Even when you're right. Even when you're right. Okay? Just engage with a perpetual activity of blaming your women.
You're right.
I used to play this video when we first started this channel a little bit over a year ago.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Get off of me, nigga!
Help me!
What's wrong with you, nigga?
Come on! Where my glasses?
Get off of me before I drop your goof.
That's what happens to feminine men. Okay, you want to play competition, you want to get into a context with your woman, keep it up. It's just a bad idea. Okay, there are better ways to handle issues. She's also going to write her own docu as well, such that she will write what he forgot to write. Rumor had it, I bet she will. Stubborn people, they don't stop. They don't stop, right? They don't stop. They won't stop. They won't stop until they hit rock bottom, where you can't go any further, right? And then all the people that told them to tell their story will go back to their own house. It won't be as entertaining at that point anymore. Yeah. Take heed. Good to see you. She says, true talk. I don't know what I said that you said true talk, but thank you so much for being here, coming to support. Yeah. Obey Commander. Thank you. She's writing a health and wellness book. Okay. Toby is adjusting with us here. Toby is helping us here. I don't know the footage. To be honest with you, I don't know the footage. I'm just looking at him, the way he's moving as a man. This whole thing of throwing your family under the bus, when you match it together with what Dr. Craze said, which sounds good on the surface, but then when you look at the other end of it, like, wait, a failed mother just because of what? Because you couldn't make a decision as a man? What are you talking about, right? Let's be guided. That's basically all I'm saying here. And particularly that message is for men. And also for you ladies, when a man doesn't know how to find, if he thinks he has to bark from the extreme of his tongue all the time, it's not sustainable. You can't stay in that relationship. It's going to work against you. I don't care how much men talking point you know how to talk. You're not capable of sustaining that. You will end up resenting him, and when you pull the plug, it will still end up on the streets of YouTube complaining about women. Yeah, this is for you. This is for you.
Jesus is Lord!
No, Ola, like bad shide. Oh, shy, like a bad shide. Me too, I'll be slow sometimes. Me, I for blackmail that Baba Charlie for the 40 million Netflix deal. Instead, who is Charlie? That's the father, right? King Charles, right? That's his name, right? For that 40 million Netflix deal, instead of going to bed mate with the Netflix cabal. Just gotta be careful, man. Listen, we're in that generation. Everybody's woke. Speak your truth. Tell your story. I'm pushing against that. I said, no, calm down. Go and engage wise counsel. Okay? The public, the monitoring spirit, all 200 million of them, they don't really care about you like that. It will make you feel better short term. But after today, after you don't tell that story, you have to sit with yourself. Right? The feelings are going to be worse because now the multiplying effect of the monitoring spirit, it's another ballgame entirely that you're not ready for, right? If you want to tell story, write a script. Tell them to write a script. Take out what you want to take out. Add some things. Have professionals say, will this affect me? Is this going to help me? And stuff like that. And then let them put it as a movie. That documentary stuff was where I'm just telling my story. And even if you are the victim, gentlemen, I know it's a tough pill to swallow. I know. Because the solution, right? Your healing has to come from the inside. It has to come from your belly. Anything that comes from the outside is temporary. You're right. It'll make you feel a little bit better, I guess. Temporarily, short to mid-term, long-term. All you have is a bunch of, what do you call it? It's a matrix of information about yourself that makes you really feel bad about yourself. All over the internet. Will never be erased ever. Right? Back in the days when it was just TV shows, they won't show the show ever again. You can buy the rights away from them, but once it's on the internet today, it's on the internet. Okay. Everybody twists things to suit themselves. However, crisis demands your crisis management. Media management is part of your responsibility if you're a man of a certain status. I know it feels unfair, but it's the reality. You have to join the forces in your favor and learn how to manage the media. Okay? Did you see how that worked out for Kanye? Let me just speak my truth. I'm going to tell everything I know. I'm just speaking the truth, right? And you think it's really King Charles in control? Really, you think it's King Charles in control? No, there are some powers that you can't see. Institutional powers, right? That's that when they see this book launches, the book is still trending everywhere, right? The book sold like 400,000 within like an hour or so. Like that book is still, like that's probably going to be the best-selling book ever. There are people sitting behind the scenes right now, and let's be guided. He chose to carve an identity for himself outside the monarchy without the control of the royal family and press. Personally, I wouldn't wish such royalty on anyone. All that glitters is not gold. Yeah. It's like I don't know if you read Barack Obama's book. It's like Barack Obama saying, "Hey wife, we have this private life. We're about to run to be in the White House. What do you think came with that?" Right? I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy either. What do you think came with that? Right? Everything they've ever believed in will be tested. Right? Yeah. The best solutions come from inside out, not anything that you do for the rest of the world. We got the book before it was released for free on one of the platforms I support. Oh, okay. Please fill us in. Who is Dr. Craze and who is Dr. Craze? And what is the talk about failed mother? Ebby, I don't know. How you did? You might have to rewind. Man of Prestige, do you agree that the amount of public consumption of these people's lives and the fame may be too much for some people? Yes. It's too much for anyone. That's why they hire professionals to manage them, to manage the publicity. Okay? That's why they do that. So even if remember I always say, if you're going to swim against the trend, I hope that you know what you're doing. That's all I'm saying. I acknowledge that level of publicity is too much for any normal human being. But that's why they have professionals paid multiple six figures every year, multiples of them, to manage those things. But no, I'm just going to do my own way. Okay, that's the reason I feel for him a bit. It's kind of a mind cough. Yes, I understand. Now it's a Fiverr on Facebook Market Space. Now it's on Fiverr on Facebook Market Space. Is that what the book is for? Oh, I'm sure it'll be, it's popular like that. Harry is going to. Okay, yeah. So his name is Charles. There are people much more powerful than Charles that are saying, "She, you don't want the wine mini right now," and they are actively still looking for ways to, I won't say the rest. Let's just leave it. Let's just pray for them, okay? Harry is going the way of Diana. Too emotional. Somebody know what we're talking about. Somebody knows what we are talking about. Too emotional. Look at it this way. Imagine the late Queen Elizabeth II insisted on telling her story. Nothing is going scot-free. Everybody will end up in McDonald's in that case. Everybody.
You will end up in McDonald's.
Yep.
You know you can be prosecuted for that.
Everybody collecting is a bad idea. Okay? Listen, I know where we are. We want people to feel free and do their, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Trust me. I'm that guy. Like, But remember, we talk about relationships. We talk about power. Okay? We don't just talk about relationships like, oh, everybody should just act anyhow and forget that there's a social construct and forget that there are certain institutions in place, and if you're going to swim against them, I hope you know what you're doing. Some people call it the matrix. Right? They can never win. I sympathize with them, but they can never win. You want to uproot the mafia of hundreds of years. You lie because you have eaten, wined, and dined with them. Yeah. Yeah. Toby, I agree with you 100%. Rubbish royal family that is not normal, not even close. The mama can't buy on top arm. She buy at the age of 90 something. What are you talking about? You mean on top of the issues? She's probably looking at them and like, oh my shield. She's probably like, she probably wants to help them, but she just can't. All right? She probably wants to help them, but she just can't. All right? I'll bring you all up to speed in a second here. I'll bring you all up to speed. Yeah, you gotta be careful. The book is £5 now. Okay. just have to be careful. If you're going through a crisis in your relationship, that's what we talk about here, right? Unless you have the kokoro, the key, you need the keys. The aggressive stuff cannot open doors. Not the important doors, at least, okay? Without creating some kind of damages. But if you have the key, if you have the keys, right, it becomes effortless. Every human being in your life has something they care about. Only if you're patient enough to find out what they actually care about, okay, then you can get what you want. If you're going to use aggressiveness or even worse, passive aggressive behaviors to get what you want, you will end up in McDonald's.
You will end up in McDonald's.
Okay, because when you're being aggressive, when you're being angry at that level, right, you will misfire now. You will misfire. Okay? And there will be a lot of backfiring, right? Because it's fair. It's in love and war, all is fair. I promise you, 100% of the time, everything is fair. But if you just calm down, and yes, there will be casualties, unfortunately. If you want to be obsessed with playing that fairness game, kudos to you. Good luck to you. The world really doesn't operate on those principles. It's an active marketplace. Everyone is out to get what they want. Sometimes it's in a reverse, recursive way, but it comes down to the same thing. There's an equilibrium trying to play out at all times. So if you apply some energy to some patience, you will get everything because you want something from an emotional place. There's something you want. If you just calm down, all right? Tojiba Farabale Arimu. All right, if you just calm down, you can see further than people that just want to no, I know, I don't care, no, man, it doesn't work. Okay, and the most powerful people in the world understand this, and the black man is struggling to understand that. The black man is confused. He doesn't know if he wants to be an activist or if he's seeking power. He's very, very confused. There's a place for being an activist. There's a place for taking power. Okay? I do think both of them are important. I just hope you know the difference and you know what you're doing. Right? So I got 2 short stories to cover before we round up. We're going to round up shortly. Okay? Let's see. The crown always comes first. Family second is an institution, not a family. Yeah. But that's an ideology. And it's a game. You can learn how to play it. Or you can try to swim against it. And we can see how far you go. Even the military cabal are plotting against... I don't want to say too much because we want to keep this alive. So respect the institution that brought you up. Go away quietly. Yeah, that's the whole point of institutions. No one is supposed to be above an institution. That's why people that put themselves above marriage institution, they fail all the time. If they get into the marriage institution to put themselves above it, Kole work. Kole work. Kole work. Oh. You know, I totally understand what you mean. Prince Harry may not win the war, but he has started the conversation around media manipulation. Was he the first one to start that? I'm not sure if he's the first to start that. You know, but anyway, let's do this. Let's cover a couple of things. Today is Tuesday. Okay, just want to make sure that I'm on point here. All right, let's pay a little bit of bills. Keep in mind we have opportunities for coaching. The free books are available, you know, so take advantage of them. I'll be right back. All right, so shout out to Auntie B. She asked a question on her community page some few days ago. And can we ever trust emotions? I don't know if you guys saw that. You know, did you guys see it? Can we ever trust emotions? What is your take on that? How do you see emotions, right? We have to keep talking about emotional intelligence, right? Because it has everything to do with everything, okay? Can we ever trust emotions? You know, some people look at emotion one way, the other people look at it the other way, right? Emotions is like this chaotic thing that has no structure to it, and you know, it's just how you feel. You know, and when people are caught up in it, they're caught up in it. You can't tell them nothing, right? And yes, men too, a lot of times by way of anger, right? And on the other side, emotions. Some people think emotions is emotional intelligence. Those are two different things. Emotions and emotional intelligence are two different things. Do you understand that? Can you comprehend that? Anyone there? Anyone there? Emotions and emotional intelligence are two different things. Honestly, what does a black man learn from this? We need an economy. We need our power. Yes. We need to do a lot less activism. A lot of people, especially in the manosphere, what they're engaged in is activism. Go to work. It will work temporarily. They might give you a little bit of cookie. Okay, but candy. Yeah, but it's going to work. You have to learn how to take power, and that involves emotional intelligence, like we're talking about right now. Emotions and emotional intelligence are two different things. Emotional intelligence is the ability to be able to understand emotions, right? Emotions are not your mate when it doesn't really care about you like that. When people are caught up in their emotions, that there are people in your own life, people that are in your personal life as well. In that moment, they are caught up in their emotions. They like you, they love you, but they have an emotion, right? They're arguing with you. You guys disagree, especially if you guys do kerewa at night. There's no paycheck next Friday, and you still want this kerewa, or you want this sense of belonging, or the sense of connection. You know, one of the 6 basic human needs, as we always cover here, right? Number 4, connection, right? Why do people want connection? Why? There's no paycheck on Friday. Oh, because I want children. Cap, stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
All right. Because I want children. No, you didn't want children. Children call. You know how long it took you before you start thinking about children after you do career well with that person? Better sit down somewhere. Right. So we're talking about emotions, emotional intelligence. Can we trust emotions? So the truth is that on the surface, no, we can't trust. The answer to that is no, you can't trust emotions. But I find that a lot of the pushback against, which I'm not saying that's what she was doing, she was asking a very valid question. A lot of the pushback against the idea that people should pay attention to the emotions of the people that they love, they think it means that they should come under them. Actually, it's literally you're gaining power. Okay, you're engaging your power. When you're able to say, oh, this person's caught up in their emotion, let me find out what is it that they're trying to say. What is it that they're trying to accomplish from a place of feelings, right? Right now. That time that you're taking to, right? You can also make it almost as equivalent to patience, right? Almost as equivalent, because you have to actually sit in yourself and actively listen to them. And you might actually be caught up in your own emotions too. You might just want to slap this person, right? You might just want to cry, right? But if you're able to engage yourself, your own emotions at a level, let me calm down. Let me see what they're trying to say, because clearly they care about something, and you've disengaged from what they care about. It can be purely emotional, whatever it is that they care about. It could be certainty. Maybe they don't feel safe. Variety, they feel like their life is boring, right? They feel like they're inside a cave. They need to get out, like Jesus Christ, right? Significance, they don't feel important. They feel like they're asking, like, can you respect me too? Like, they don't feel significant. They feel like you don't find them significant, right? That's when you see women say, hey, I want you to respect me. That's when you see women say, I need you to value my own opinion too, right? Can you calm down with yourself and feel safe with yourself, right? Oh, sorry. Are you seeing something else? I'll correct it. Sorry about that. StreamYard is terrible. So StreamYard need to fix that. Let me see what you're seeing so I can fix it. Thank you for saying that, by the way. You're probably seeing funny characters, weird. No, you should be seeing the right thing. What happened? What's wrong with StreamYard? Let me make sure I'm not muted. What happened? Was it glitching or something? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, are you able to sit with yourself? Because the first thing you need to learn about emotional intelligence is mastering your own emotions. No, master your own emotions. You can't understand other people's emotions if you say, no, I don't have emotions. Or if you act like it, right? You're not going to have necessary empathy that you need to understand other people's emotions until you understand that you get caught up in your emotions sometimes. Okay? So being able to sit with that's the first step. There are 3 steps to it. Understanding your own emotions first. Okay? Why do you feel the way you feel? Why do you think the way you think? You're caught up in anything, like all your moves. I don't care how logical you think you are. Every move you make is emotionally driven if you're a human being like the rest of us. Okay? So, particularly because we can't trust emotions is the reason why you need emotional intelligence. Because when you're caught up in your emotions and the other person on the surface looks like they're just being evil, they're disrespectful, if that's all you're engaged with, how they're, what do? Naturally, you want to defend. You want to defend yourself, right? But defending yourself against your wife, what does that look like? Right? What does that look like? So what I need to tell you about this one is very simple. Okay? Yes, you can't trust emotions. That's particularly why you must master them. You must remain a lifelong student of emotions. Okay? If you want to have blossoming relationships, right? It will help you with patience too, because you take time away from engaging a person that's being offensive, but they might not mean to be offensive. But you take the time to find out what they after the first step, which is mastering your emotions, you're not able to say what is it that they care about, what is it that they're trying to say among all six of this, right? Based off of this particular theory. There's multiple theories out there that you can learn how people process emotions. But this particular one, look through the six. What is it that they're trying to say? Disengage from the surface stuff. All she knows is money. Why? Does that give her a sense of certainty and security? Because if you engage it as money, like, it's no wonder why you are looking at your wife as a gold digger. What do you do to gold diggers? You destroy them. Your mindset is everything. Emotions cues with the empath, they are different. Yes, they're different, right? Because you can't trust them, that's why you must engage them. Lean in and try to understand what's going on, right? That takes time. It's a process, You might not have the answer tonight. You might not have the answer tomorrow, but be patient with yourself, because this is a person you care about, obviously. If we're talking about a person you don't care about, it's very easy. Just disconnect them. Let them go. Right? Just let them go. You're not able to let them go, you're caught up in your emotions then. We need to dig in a little bit deeper. What emotions are you caught up in? Because maybe that's why you're not able to understand the other person. Okay. The third one is the emotions of the society at large. You don't live in a cave. Stop telling yourself that I'm just me. I just do me. Well, I'm just going to do mine. Nah. You live in a society and there are society standards, and that's you actively trying to swim against the trend. It will hurt you. You will drown. Okay? We're all built with emotions. We all will be lifeless without it. That's what creates the human experience. The emotions create the human experience. The moment you become emotionless, it's like this whole thing is pointless. Right? When I do this, what does that spark off in you? Tell me. Hold on one second. Oh yeah, I have a lot of these things right now. What does that do to you? Right? Emotions are fickle. EQ is the ability to understand, use, manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize, overcome challenges, diffuse conflict. Yes, I agree. So emotional intelligence is trying to deduce the truth of a person's feelings. Yours first. You have to know how to do yours first. Then it becomes easier. It becomes easier. Olalotu says sometimes you need to keep mute. That's the only way to understand your emotions. You need to be quiet with yourself so that you can understand what's going on. Tojiba fa abale arimu. Okay. All right. We got one more. Just one more so we can round off the night. I want you all to go and spend time with your family. And then we'll be back here at 4 p.m. tomorrow as usual. But let's do one little short one, and then I'll tell you just a little topic I caught off of Clubhouse earlier today. Let's get into it. All right, so let's round it off with this topic right here. Feminists want the power of men and privileges of women. What do you ladies and gentlemen of prestige feel about this? Speak to me. What do you think about this? What does this make you feel? Speaking of feelings and emotions, Anybody got triggered? Anybody got triggered?
How juju be that?
And by the way, a woman created the room from what I could see. A woman created this conversation. Okay. And shout out to her. I don't want to mention her name as a form of respect, but she also tends to create such topics like this. What do you think? What do you think? What does this make you feel? Yep. Feminists want the power of men. What's feminists want the power of men? I mean, do you see? What do you think? What do you think? A woman created this room. The woman tends to create a lot of room with this kind of topic. It's on Clubhouse. It was a conversation earlier on Clubhouse, and I stumbled into it, and I heard a man saying, he was saying, and I quote, "Men are always smarter than women. Men are smarter than women. They need us. They need us." Anytime I stumble into these rooms, I mean, it's quite often, but it's becoming stale and stale. But I understand some new people are getting into the conversation, But, Jesus.
Oh my days, you are more worrying to your long.
Wahala. Feminists want the power of men. Is that true? Is it true or false? And privileges of women. Ladies. Prestige family. Is this true or false? Do you think there are a lot of feminists out there right now that want the power of men and privileges of men? Are they asking you? Are they ask? The conversation is getting realer. See, as much as you want to say, I don't want to be a part of that conversation, they're getting more, they're viral. They tend to be viral because people have their reasons of feeling this way, So what they do, they create an echo chamber where they're regurgitating itself. Hit that like button, by the way. They're clicking like, they're engaging. They will listen to this thing for 12 hours every weekend. The same thing, they keep talking, right? They keep talking. Well, here's the thing. Let me see. That word has been bastardized, right? Alpha females. Well, is she referring to toxic feminists? Some people will be like, there's no such thing as toxic feminists. Some of them will say there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Let me say this right now. Anything that exists in life has a toxic version of it. Anything, any phenomenon, any ideology, anything you can think of in life has a toxic version of it. If you say there's no such thing, that's literally getting caught up in your emotions and being dismissive. Okay, so we could say that, I guess, maybe toxic feminist, right? The truth is we need each other. That's a fact, right? Olologists, I beg to disagree with some katas. What's katas? I don't know what that is. It's a tough one, but me, I can beat a woman to defend myself. What does that mean? I don't know what you mean by that. I hope it doesn't mean literally. Somewhat true is this women that call themselves feminists and know nothing about being a feminist. What a feminist means, right? Okay. Nope, I don't want to be a man or compete with one. Thank you. Yeah, woman of prestige, of course not. Of course not. Right? Chinye said that is true for toxic feminists and not regular feminists. We just want fairness across the board for women. That's true. I agree with that. Can you give an example of a privilege? That's a good question. But there are people, maybe some of them will watch right now and they're very quick to come and tell you what privileges that women have. I personally don't think so. I think, If women have privileges, I think men have privileges. If women are not privileged in certain area, I think men are not privileged in certain area. Like I said, this thing is fair. It's either you learn game or you continue to complain all over the place on the internet. This thing is very fair. In love and war, all is fair. But I'll tell you what the issue is in a second. Isn't that social construct? Anyone who says there is no toxic feminism or masculinity is a we need a sound a sound effect for that.
Yes, Kelly baby.
I think we all balance up most times. Everyone have their portion. Yes, including when unfortunate circumstances happen to people, it's still balanced. That's just life. That's called life, right? But here's the conversation is just another, toxic gender war driven conversation. It doesn't really serve us, but we're trying to flip them as we catch them, okay? Feminist, first of all, can be a man and a woman. That's number one, okay? A feminist can be a man or a woman. So if a man chooses to identify as a feminist because he's advocating for equal rights for women in society as part they're humans too, in work environment, how is it trying to take power from men? Right? Could make sense, right? So that's number one. Feminist is not equivalent to women. Does that make sense? The word feminist is not equivalent to women. As a matter of fact, femininity, right? The one that we all look for, men, gentlemen, that we look for in the ladies, right? That we love. We love the experience of a feminine woman, right? That one too is not equivalent to woman, okay? Sometimes you as a man get caught up in your feminine energy, okay? All right, so so want the power of men. I guess they're saying women who are toxic feminists, who are fighting, they want the power of men. Well, good luck to them. Some of them do sound that way sometimes, but a lot of them are young girls that don't know what the hell they're talking about. How I can't. There's no way I can take this kind of people seriously to the point where I will be engaged in active argument with them. Once I hear people mixing the idea of the feminist movement with romantic relationship, at that moment I'm disengaged. They're not relevant. They're not relevant. At the very minimum, I make them irrelevant. Okay? Now, they want privileges, or that's where, and they want privileges of women together with power of men. That's where it comes in, because they're saying, oh, you still want chivalry, right? You want me to open the door as a man, right? But then you want to be equal. You see how they're mixing two parallels together. One, Jora, one, they're not the same thing. That's why it's very hard for me to engage such conversation. But here on Men of Prestige, when we catch them every now and then, just in case you run into conversation around about it, at least you know how to, adjust and say, is that conversation worth it? Is it not worth it? No disrespect to them. They're trying to learn something. They're confused. A bunch of them are confused. But it's many people of many ages, right? Especially after they've collected, right? After they end up in McDonald's, right?
You will end up in McDonald's.
They now want to come and be using talking points to make themselves feel better. And what they need to do is go through proper healing. Learn how these things work. Learn from the people that are doing it successfully, right? Learn what the people that failed at it, what did they do wrong, right? What did they learn from the experience? That's what they should be engaging, and not conversations. You can literally hear in their voice that, oh my God, this one never got over the girlfriend that dumped him in high school. You can literally hear it. Or you can hear the woman wouldn't chop serious breakfast, right? Claiming that they are feminist. No, you're not. You're not. You don't know what you're talking about. So let's be guided. True feminists just want equality. I guess all privileges could be social construct, yes, including men wanting to take the lead in certain situations. Yes, I mean, generally part of social construct, We want to lead, right? And most women want you to lead. That doesn't mean they have to alter it in words. They want you to lead. If you can't lead, they have a hard time respecting you. You know? They might even call it, you don't let me have an opinion. She's saying you don't know how to lead. That's all she's trying to say. She doesn't feel safe. She doesn't feel secure with you. But what do? If you don't know any better as a young man, you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean opinion? I'm the leader. Nah, bro. She just told you just failed. Go back to the drawing table. She's not feeling it. Sure, some are fast to read the room and deal with microaggression more than some. Yeah, that's true. We are wired that way. Some are slow and some are fast. Yeah, with time anyway, you see the elderly folks, for the most part at least, they just laugh because like it's not that deep. Right? Yeah, so yeah, we're rounding up. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your support. I appreciate everyone that's here right now. You can always support at any point in time. You see the $ under the chat. Even after the replay, you can support. All supports are welcome. Thank you so much. I personally believe in equality, and by the way, memberships are open. I personally believe in equality as per fairness, but when it comes to roles and responsibility, we all should agree to disagree. Well, when it comes to romantic relationships, everyone don't collect instantly, dead on arrival. When it comes to romantic relationships, whatever got you into that space in the first place, you need to keep your eyes on it. All right, it's seduction, it's attraction, it's kerewa, those type of things, right? That's now become C finish that you now no one respect anymore. You have to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, why was I attracted to this person? Right? Romantic, right? In the workplace, of course, we can fight. You should fight fairness, right? But I guarantee you, the ones that are climbing those corporate ladders, they don't want to be fair. They will destroy you. They will talk behind your back. Politics is undefeatable. Politics no be your mates. You'll be while you're busy trying to play activism and fairness, the guy don't the answer as CEO, COO, because you are busy playing fairness. None of this stuff is fair. Just keep that at the back of your mind. Let's see. I like that Harry is standing in his truth, but the Crown institution won't stop. That's why it's called an institution. Don't try to swim against it. If you want to do that, try to know what you're doing at least. And I'm not saying he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm hoping he knows what he's doing. That's all I'm saying. I don't believe in one rule fits the bunch, and this goes deeper if we dissect it. Yeah, we don't set rules here. There's no rules. There are principles that guide this whole thing. Undefeated. It's skilly, baby. Undefeated. You don't have to agree with it. They just is. See that English? They just is. Constant. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. We'll be back here at 5 p.m. tomorrow, okay, to keep talking about this. Let's just keep having the conversation, because there's clearly something changing. There's a dynamic that's changing. It's part of the principles that guide life, and you have to be prepared for that. And if you're not prepared for that, you'll end up in McDonald's. Okay, so again, hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.